morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching, whatever time you're listening. Welcome to Your Onion Podcast. Today we have a very special guest. His name is John Hickey, and he is the Senior Director of Business Development and Sales at Black Cat Engineering and Construction. Hello, John.
Thank you, Stefan. Thank you for that introduction.
John, like all my guests, can you give us a brief outlay on what your responsibilities are here and what does Black Cat do?
Yeah, Black Cat is probably one of the oldest engineering construction companies in Qatar. It's 100% Qatari owned. We're owned by the Kipco Group, which from a landmark point of view, we own Tornado Tower.
Okay.
That would be our flag in the ground, so to speak. Black Cat, Kipco then, obviously they own Black Cat, and then sister companies of Black Cat under the Kipco Group would be the Manai Group, Mid-Mac Construction.
Okay.
Siemens.
Really?
Siemens.
But is that a franchise? How does
Siemens would be a partnership between
right.
Kipco and Siemens Germany, obviously.
Right.
And a multitude of other well-established companies, SBS and so on. So Black Cat is the engineering construction arm of the Kipco Group.
Okay. Which means?
Which is basically we look after all engineering construction activities within oil and gas industry.
Okay.
That's our primary. Our markets are oil and gas and power and water.
Okay.
And we are an EPC company.
Which means
engineering, procurement and construction.
Okay.
So we deliver all in one, from cradle to grave, as we call it. The client will give us a concept. We would do a feasibility, what we call in the trade FEED study.
But when you say concept, what?
A client, whether it's an outside investor or whether it is an in-country end client, before they build anything, they will have a concept. They will have a reason.
Oh, okay.
They will have a market. Obviously, from oil and gas, it can be downstream, such as your petrochemical, the Q-Chem, polyethylenes, polypropylenes. You have your CAFAC, CAFCO, CAPCO. It's all derivatives from oil.
Yeah.
So now that Qatar, of course, has gas, LNG, obviously, that in itself also has derivatives.
Okay.
So you to mix derivatives of certain hydrocarbons, it produces items for sale, such as Wellingtons, glasses.
Oh, really? Okay.
Every part of the car you're driving is made from hydrocarbon.
Okay.
The toothbrush, it's made from hydrocarbon. The soap that you put on your face in the morning comes from hydrocarbon.
Really?
The oil in your hair.
All right, you could be going on for hours.
On and on and on.
Okay.
So certain clients will have certain concepts. If it's a new investment, we call it greenfields, brownfields. So if there's a greenfield job, which is an open plan, open field, and the client decides to build a facility to manufacture a certain product, they would engage Black Cat to carry out a feasibility study.
Okay.
And a feasibility study is very early stage for any project. Not getting into the real detail about the details of the job, but just the overall concept, the overall, say, CapEx requirement to build the facility, the legal situations in the country. So we would do legal feasibility, technical, and also all the banking institutions, so on and so forth.
So that's from the beginning, and as you say, to the end.
And then we go right through to actually building it.
Right.
The beauty about Black Cat as a constructor is because we're the only we're the only company in Qatar working within the oil and gas industry. The only Qatari-owned company.
Yeah, but when you say Qatari-owned,
with engineering,
why is it called Black Cat? It must have come from somewhere.
Black Cat started business in 1980-81. and it came from a company from Lebanon called Mother Cat. And
when
I know it's.
Are you making this up?
No, it's true. In some parts of the world, the cat can be a lucky omen.
Unlucky,
and in other parts of the world, it's unlucky. I mean,
when a black cat used to cross the road in front of my mum, she'd go tweet, 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 tweet.
Yeah.
Just because she said it was shake off the bad.
And where I come from in Ireland, if they pass at the other side of the road, say from right to left, it's oh my God, that's great, let's go, because there's
depending on
a wind factor coming down the road. It can be lucky.
Oh, okay.
So from left to right, it's the opposite. You turn around and go home. Although, having said that, if my grandfather, many years ago, he was going to the creamery with milk and he saw a red-haired woman, he would turn back and go home. So,
really?
The world is full of what we say in Ireland, pishogues. Pishogues means unusual beliefs.
Oh, okay.
But Black Cat came from a company called Mother Cat. Mother Cat is Lebanese. Back in the 60s, 70s, it was probably one of the biggest construction companies in the GCC, in the Gulf.
Okay, yeah.
They won a power plant in Qatar at the time. And upon completion of that power plant, the project manager liked Qatar, his children, his family were here, and he stayed on and he opened a company called Black Cat. Obviously, he didn't think too much about the brand name.
Is there any other cats?
No, I don't think there's any other cats. There maybe, I think there's one more, but anyway, let's not go there.
Let's not go there, okay.
And that's where it came, and it was originally part of the Tyseer group of companies.
Okay.
Up to 2004 when Kipco took over ownership of it. And so it was always a Qatari company because it was under the Tyseer group and with some shareholding from the founder at that time.
Yeah.
Mr. Salman, George Salman. His son actually is our engineering manager.
Oh, really?
Bassem, he's still there.
Okay.
George retired and he's Jordanian, Palestinian Jordanian. The company now, as I said, is under the Kipco Group and we employ 2,000 plus people.
Wow. All here in Qatar?
All here in Qatar.
Right.
And we have a number of joint ventures then for certain segments of industry. That we have a joint venture with a company, a global multinational company called Wood Group,
okay,
which was previously, before Wood Group, it was called Amick Foster Wheeler. And these conglomerates buy one another out. It's now called Wood. So Wood and Black Cat together is a local joint venture company, and they hold a number of contracts in Qatar. One of which is the maintenance contract for Shell GTL plant in Ras Laffan. I think they have upwards towards 500 people under that. We have another joint venture company with a Korean company called Doosan, and they have a shutdown company, a company that specialises in the shutdowns of facilities.
What do you mean? What, when a facility...
Facilities in the oil and gas industry, they have to be shut down periodically, planned shutdowns to repair certain...
Oh, okay, for maintenance.
For maintenance, but it's not just your standard maintenance, it's like full-on maintenance for between a 4-week to maybe an 8-week period, where they will have... And the planning of every shutdown may take 2 years.
Wow. Just
to plan individual activities so that you start it back up on time and get it back into production. Obviously, nobody wants to shut down a plant.
No.
Which brings me to and that joint venture is with Doosan Babcock. It's a UK member of the Doosan Korean group. Which brings me to my, I suppose, the expertise that we're bringing into Black Cat engineering, procurement, construction business is we recognise that OPEX, the operational costs of every facility, is of primary concern for all end users. Particularly, when hydrocarbon prices are very fluctual with regards to high, low, medium. Cost of OPEX is everything. Downtime is not wished upon because obviously they don't want to shut plants down. So what we do is when we get a new contract for a new facility, we will actually, part of our engineering will consider the OPEX
Oh, okay.
In ensuring that we have a life cycle, a complete life cycle solution, as we call it. So we will ensure to engineer best practices into our engineering portion. Obviously, we have to build the job, but at the end of every build, you have to hand the job back to the client or over to the client. And we will have introduced certain technologies, certain softwares, certain pieces of equipment that will ensure that equipment is monitored, that it displays it records and displays real information to the client with regards to maybe they don't have to shut down every 2 years. Maybe certain pieces of equipment can go on for 4 years. We will record the vibration of equipment. We will record the pressure, the flows, the temperatures. And we are incorporating all of that in our engineering to ensure that the client gets a better value.
But you're always involved then?
Well, of course.
Let go then?
Of course, for us, the last big business sector that we operate in is maintenance and operation. And which is where we have our joint venture with Wood, being a global leader in operating facilities like Shell GTL. We want to bring in more life cycle solutions where we can help clients. For instance, we're working with, or we're proposing to NOC at the moment, North Isle Company.
Okay, yeah.
And one of the technologies we bring in, because that's offshore, so there's a massive cost when you want to look at something that you need to fix. You've got to fly out, huge costs, or you got to send them out by sea. We have a technology where you have live stream to the guys in the field. Their safety helmet is equipped with live feed camera.
No, really?
And their earmuffs is obviously fitted with a voice stream, which is live to the control room or the engineering centre back at base, back onshore.
Is this recent? How new is this technology?
We use it, when I say we, our joint venture partner would use it in Northfield, in the North Sea.
Oh, really?
For various end clients in the North Sea, and we're bringing this to Qatar.
Wow.
So that clients can, if they want to make a change, they can just ring up the guy in the field. Please go have a look at this section. Look this way. Look that way.
Oh, okay, so they can actually see.
And they can see real time, and they can actually. They don't have to then go with the big expense, go offshore, lose all the value, the time, the travel time, the lost time from other more important tasks.
Is this, like most businesses, is this business becoming semi-automated or automated? Will we see less of
I would say you'll see, particularly in facilities, I think it's heading that way. I mean, this, unfortunately, I've been living in the Gulf for 27 years.
I know, I saw your LinkedIn page. It was impressive.
Yeah, and it's sometimes unfortunate to see technologies bypassing the middle. Well, like you obviously in life you got the steam age, you got the steel age, you got the iron age, you got all these ages. But the current age is technology.
Absolutely.
The current age is like robotic. It's all, and that is happening as we speak in Europe, in America, in China. From a very high level, it's happening. Like from cloud-based computing. I mean, it's happening at very high level. Security, cyber security. It's all being put in place. Sometimes I see in the Middle East, it can sometimes go past. And it leaves us behind.
Why?
Why? Because companies, thank God for Black Cat, but we are introducing it.
Okay.
Clients are busy. Clients like QP or NOC or whoever it may be, they're busy doing what they do, taking oil and gas out of the ground and selling it. And it's up to the service companies around them to engage with them and to bring forward new technologies and new processes like Black Cat that we can bring forward. Like wound technology is unbelievable. We have exclusive rights to a product called OSE, which means oil spill ether. It's a patented technology. It's an enzyme patented out of Dallas. And we have the exclusive rights in the Gulf for this. Basically, if you have an oil spill, you put our product onto that spill, and the enzymes, the water, the natural contaminants that are in the water and oxygen within the air, it actually multiplies and starts eating the hydrocarbon. And you will see before your eyes, if you go to our Facebook, Black Cat Engineering Construction Facebook, you will see one of our social media events where we actually put in dirty oil. I mean, it was really heavy oil into the water. Yeah. We put in our product on it, and you will see within moments the hydrocarbon disappearing.
Wow. And is that safe for the environment as well? Yeah, I know oil isn't meant to be good for the environment.
Safe for you can drink it.
Really?
Yes. It's safe for the environment, safe for marine life, safe for the indigenous. It doesn't sink. The minute you put our product on it, it flotates the.
Is this a recent?
This is actually, again, this is 29 years old.
Really?
It was used in the Exxon spillage. It was used in Horizon, and here we are, 29 years later.
Wow.
So it does a multitude of things. The product we have, it treats oil spill.
But how can we haven't heard? I haven't heard. When you hear of these big oil spills, why isn't it? Why don't you hear it?
Well, there's multitudes of reasons for that. I mean, if you go onto OSE, our partner's website, you will see news clips and so on and so forth. In a lot of cases, maybe some clients don't want it because. And the because means whatever you want it to mean. There's no expense in this. This is the cheapest product that you can buy. It's roughly 40 cents can clean up. 40 cents can clean a spill of maybe every square meter can be cleaned for 10 cents of a spill. So it's an amazing product. Yeah. What it results to Qatar is obviously, thank God we don't have spills.
No.
The safety and the safety and obviously the procedures they have within the end clients in Qatar is at a very, very high level. So we don't see spills, thank God. However, the precaution has to be there at all times, which is a huge OPEX. This is back to our OPEX.
Okay.
Clients have to have all of the oil spill response equipment in place in case. However, using our product, they really have to have very little in place other than the boats that are needed to respond.
Yeah.
Our product mixed with the seawater can immediately take care of oil spill. Again, it's all on our website. It's an unbelievable. The other thing it treats is contaminated soil. We're working with a number of clients that over the last 50 years, they've drums and possible spillages due to just common wear and tear, let's say, within facility. They've found huge areas of their land is contaminated. With our product, we simply plough. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
We plough the land. As we plough, we spray. And over the course of a continuous ploughing and spraying, we will decontaminate the land back into fertile soil. And the last service it does is sludge. Again, it's a huge environmental problem. Particularly in the oil industry, you have oil storage in these great big tanks. Yeah. And approximately every couple of years, with the hydrocarbon, you have this, call it waxy, hard, waxy.
So you use the...
So it's left in the bottom of the tank. They have to shut down, empty the tank and take out all this sludgy stuff, wax. Yeah. What do you do with it? Years and years ago, they done what they done. Of course, with the sign up, with the world becoming so small,
yes,
and the environmental standards are now, everybody has to sign up to them. Our product will take the sludge. We can mix our products over it takes approximately 10 weeks.
Oh, it takes longer because it
takes longer because it's a real thickness of oil, and it also has the sand, and it also has the mud. And it basically converts everything back to CO2 and water.
Wow.
In a matter of 12 weeks. The water can be sold or given back to the client for irrigation, because it's a grey water. Although you can touch it and taste it with your tongue, and the hard product can be just brought back in for irrigation in pellets into the land. So it's an amazing product.
That is amazing,
and we're distributing that. So that's Black Cat. The greatest,
and what's your
company in Qatar. I look after all of the sales, new opportunities, and I work with our people in the proposals department, trying to put strategy together, trying to bring new technologies to the team that might allow us a competitive advantage.
Are there many competitors in your field?
Depending on the market, on the size, between a certain value, you might have a certain amount of competitors. Then once you go outside, so typically Black Cat, we tender up to about 500 million of a value. We can cope with that quite well. Again, those bigger projects require bigger bonding facilities, bigger insurance, bigger backing, so on. So I suppose we would have 5, 6 competitors who are good. And then sometimes we will have international companies trying to make a bed for themselves in the local market. That can be unfortunate because sometimes they will do what they need to do to win a job. And in contracting, clients are trying to get the best value they can for money. So what we try and offer is the added value. Try to be competitive, but try to show the client the added value they get by engaging a company like Black Cat. As I said, we're the only local contracting company with its own engineering licensed department. So we do engineering for our competitors.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which is fine. I mean, we have no problem. We can deliver engineering services independently. We can deliver procurement and engineering independently from construction. So, it's like the jigsaw: the E, the P, and the C. And obviously, we got the O&M from the operation maintenance. So, business is tough, but it's good. It's very competitive, but it always was. It's nothing different. It's just chasing to make sure you, first of all, try and select the right opportunities that fit the company, and that we can somehow, through smart engineering, deliver the client with a package that's competitive, and the value add, and on top of that, deliver the client with a job that will have a lesser OPEX. And obviously provide the client with a lesser cost to produce what he wants to produce, with more uptime, which is the trick.
Moving forward into the future, how do you see the industry changing, and for Black Cat?
We are trying to. We're bringing. There's been a big change in Black Cat. It's a whole new management team that has been brought in.
Why?
Black Cat? Our owners, Kipco, saw the company going down a business sector that wasn't traditionally the culture of Black Cat, going more into maintenance fields and so on. Black Cat was always an engineering contracting company that started its days in QP in Dukan, and our parent company saw really no business being generated within Dukan, which would have been our home base. So we restructured. Obviously, we have our joint venture partners to take care of the maintenance business. So we have a new CEO, Mr. Paolo Perchetta, and Paolo brings with him a massive vision. He's been a long time in the industry, working with really major like ABB Lomas, being one example. His vision is inspiring for the company.
Yeah.
We've spent the last 9 months basically re-establishing our culture, the culture of Black Cat, which to us is the only thing that's important. Execution excellence is our brand. We've now engaged, and we're changing that, and we're bringing in very experienced, grey-haired men and women with the experience that we think is needed to re-establish that culture. And to engage all of our employees into wanting to work for Black Cat. Not just being employed and collecting a salary. We want to be the Google. I worked for Google.
So how do you do that? How did they go about
we
that?
We want people to
do you make it
be disappointed they have to go home. So
exactly. Do you make it a nicer environment?
Well,
I've been to various offices, and
I know.
I'm aghast by how people can actually go every day into
an environment
kind of
like
that environment. So you
where
create something.
Where we are in the last, because this has been a planned process that Paolo has introduced. We've had numerous seminars with regards to cultural change within each department and how each department functions. So we've moved to the second stage of that plan, and we have now introduced, and we want to be recognised as a company that provide corporate social responsibility.
Nice.
And we don't want to have it as a brand. We want to be that. This is new to Qatar. Social responsibility as a word, I think corporate social responsibility is a word that's not understood. You can sponsor cycling events, you can sponsor beach cleanups, and that's all wonderful stuff. But really all you're doing is an excuse to wave your banner, to wave your company banner. We really want to, and we will continuously do that for the community with regards to sponsoring this and giving donations to this, that and the other. But that's done nothing really for the community, for our employees and for the community we live in. We want to, and we have now engaged our own corporate social responsibility officer who's currently engaging and leading that charge. It's going to take some time. But we want to have sustainability within, outside, environmentally, which obviously Black Cat Environmental Services with the OZE products, and we're about to make a massive capex into tyre recycling centres.
Wow. Nice.
Qatar is inundated with dumps, particularly tyres,
and
it's a crying shame. There's no taxation on the distributors of cars. They just sell. And the tyres are just dumped. We have technology that we're about to invest in that's going to melt all of those tyres, bring back the hydrocarbon and the wire from it in, and actually Qatar Steel want the product. They need the product. But going back to corporate social responsibility, this is so important. I mean, we want this to be our blood within our culture. We want to be a step above. We want to be what we should be, which is leading the charge on the welfare of our employees. We don't want to distinguish the welfare of our manager versus the welfare of our lesser staff members. So we want to equalise that, and we want to ensure that when anybody comes working for us, or we want to engage with the universities, we want to have graduate exchange programs. We want to engage with high schools when the students have that last 2 years of their life in high school, that confusing 2 years where I want to be a doctor, I want to be a bus driver, I want to be everything, and they end up going to college for new media and English and something that they really don't care about. We want to engage with those guys, and everything we do will have to be associated to our business.
Nice.
Engineering. Manage our waste and bring it into energy.
That's great.
be a paperless office.
Yeah.
But it's really well-being of our people, it's well-being of the community, and obviously the functions of.
And will that be shared amongst the rest of the group?
This will be incorporated into the bigger group.
Yeah.
As I said, we've just started that, and we're really excited about it. And it, as I said, it goes back to the vision of our CEO and our shareholders to try and just be above. Let's not just be the standard.
No.
And we don't want. I mean, everybody presumes once you get into something, oh, it's money, it's thousands, it's budgets, and this and that. But it's not.
No.
I mean, to be a paperless office saves all of that administration.
Yeah.
Okay. We want our people to engage with one another rather than email. I know all of this is important, but we want, if you can't talk to the guy, FaceTime. We want more engagement with our staff.
Yeah.
We want the well-being. We want our staff to have exercise. We don't want our staff just clocking out at 5 o'clock going home.
Are you going to have a gym?
That's our intention.
Nice.
So we want all of this, but we don't just want it. We want it to be part of our culture. We don't want to say, oh, we have a CSR. We want to be a CSR.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we don't want, like what we said, the boss's daughter just making a CSR policy during the summer holidays.
No.
So we've invested and we've engaged a responsible person that's going to get the complete support of the departments because we have quality, we've got safety, we've got everything in place. It's just a matter of pulling it all together and ensuring that our ISO and our quality and our procedures and what we do outside, the responsibilities that we do outside, such as helping the community. We just want to be that. And
that's great.
And we don't want, and it shouldn't cost a lot.
No,
so
not at all.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, John. We're
out
of time.
Thank you very much, Stephen. It's great. Sorry for.
I haven't said
so
very much,
talking.
but no, it's fascinating.
Yeah, it's great. I hope to be back and update you on some of the
absolutely.
developments, and I'll bring our new corporate social responsibility officer to you.
And maybe we can get back your backstory next time, because we didn't touch on your backstory.
That's a serious one. Yeah.
Well, I know that could be another podcast by itself.
Yeah, we're going to need time on that one. But listen, no, it's great. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, John. Thanks for taking the time.
Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch up with you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.